Today I want to show you an easy way to make the 5-star rosette center. Now, it's seemingly easy if you do it right. If you don't line it up right and do your pieces in order, it's kind of tricky. Start by cutting your 5 diamond shapes. I fussy cut these even though there wasn't a big pattern on it. But whatever you want to do is fine. Flip them over, but keep them in order as far as the direction that you want, because that's important. Lay them out across, get your papers, set them on. We can adjust this right before we glue baste. If you're thread basting, it's really the same thing. So these are ready to go. This order is important. I use the Soline glue pen. I'll get that ready. So I start with the first one. I line it up. I stay off the edge, put a thin line down, and then just fold over. Then I do the second line like that. And here's the tricky part. And then I rotate it. And I'll tell you why in a second. Let me just finish that. I'm not putting a lot of glue on. All right, and I can set that aside. So here's the important part. Always start on the same direction. So I started, if you're left hand, do the reverse. But I started at the top and I glued the right side. So I'm gonna do the same thing, come down, I'm gonna glue the right side. And I'm gonna rotate it. And I'll tell you why in a second that this is important. I won't glue all of these, but it's the same thing. Always start on the same side, and you already have them lined up. So essentially, the little tails, which give you the trouble when you're trying to sew, are going in the same direction. Yes, this is tulip pink. I knew you were gonna ask that. See my little tails? All going the same way. That's important because when I'm going to stitch these, you can see as I put this together, they're all going in the same direction and they fit nicely together. All right, so they just interlock. Now, I'm going to flip this over and do the same thing, but it's easy to, and then I don't get them mixed up as far as direction. So I'm on the back. I mean, I could tell that this is probably the bottom, and you could see there's a darker teal green up here. So because they're not folded differently, I can get them going the right way. But you can see how these interlock with each other, and it's all about the tails. This one just fits right in there. All right, and you can see how these little tails are interlocking, and that makes it a lot easier to sew. So let me just show you how that would work. Now I'm doing the flat back stitch, but it also works for if you're doing traditional whip stitch. So as I'm sewing, I'd be sewing up here. I just fold back my tail to get to the edge. So you can see that right there. Makes it a lot easier to catch. You can line them up if you're doing the whip stitch. Same thing. Line them up and then just fold back the one tail. So it makes it a lot easier to sew rather than having 2 tails that you're trying to mess with and fold back. And so just remember, with the 5-star center, keep everything going the same way. Don't cut your tails off, and they'll just line up easy peasy, lemon squeezy, like that. And then you'll be able to sew them so much better when everything's folded going around. Good luck!